Okay guys, so here is the latest White Dwarf Magazine. This is issue 454. I'm not even sure if it's going to be in the shops for a while, but looks like the subscriber copies are dropping on the doorsteps. This one has literally just landed on my doorstep, like literally about 5 minutes ago. I haven't even opened it, like I haven't looked in it at all, so what I'm about to look through now is me looking for it for the first time. Sometimes we flick through these, get a rough idea of what's in them before we do these videos. This one, just very excited just to get straight in there. So let's do it. As always, we have Meet the White Dwarf team. Some stuff about the Lumineth. So of course, with everything that's going on in the world, they aren't available yet. But of course, when this was when they were putting this White Dwarf together many months ago, they weren't to know that. So it's kind of cool. We get a little sort of sneak peek into the inside of them, no doubt. We have contact page. There's a little bit there about doing some dragon scales. Model of the month. It's very cool. That Horticulus Slimax, that's how it's pronounced. It's gorgeous. Some nice Necromunda stuff. Loving the pink bases on them Black Templars. Contrast very nicely, very different. We have some more here. Have a warband for Warhammer Underworld. Loads of containers. It's really cool. And then we have some Nighthorn Cadron Overlords and a Khorne Exalted Deathbringer. While to Warhammer, Phil Kelly, he is discussing the many ways your miniatures can go to war. Amusing anecdotes included. So, could be a very good read. They're normally quite good, these World of Warhammer sections, well worth a read. We have the Warhammer 40k sections are in Index Xenos, looking at the Goth clan of Orks. Maybe we'll have some rules in here as well, we shall see. Even if it's just some stratagems or whatnot. Loads of fluff, of course. Little bits about leaders. One called Gazgol, not heard of him. Oh, and here we go. Gruck Face Ripper. Scrax Skull Knobs. And a Goth Rocker. So really cool. It says these are designed for narrative play and open play, so they aren't actually matched play data sheets? Yeah, data sheets. I was going to say War Scrolls, but that's Age of Sigmar. But still really cool. Especially to see the Goth Rocker in there. And Gruck Face Ripper as well. So I think I've got his miniature somewhere. I believe he's the one which was in one of the box sets. I had like a circular saw thing. But that's it. That's it. Oh, they do have a Warlord trait as well. Sorry. Well, they might have had stratagems. They tend to put them in a lot. Anyway, we have a little painting section for painting Orks. Paint splatter. Got contrast style there. Parade ready. Battle ready. Really cool. I do quite like that. And also some kit bastions. So there's a little conversion segment for Orks, which is really cool. Obviously, that's something we love here at Bitzbox. Conversions, so really cool. Make some special knobs to use with their new rules. And we've got Stu Black's Goth Orks there as well. Really nice. Loving the Stomper. Stompers are so cool. I wish I still had mine. I've got Dan Harden's Goths as well. Absolutely loving that. The Dakar Jet looks amazing. Echoes from the Warp. So Robin Crudice's regular section, but we've got Elliot Hamer this month. And we've got some fiction, Tradition's Last Breath. A little short story by Aaron Dembski Bowden. I've got some new rules for Harlequins, some additional Harlequin rules. So, pivotal roles. So, these are alternative abilities for Harlequin characters in Battleforged armies, allowing you to customize their datasheets and open up new strategies for using these peerless fighters on the battlefield. Note on your army roster any pivotal role abilities each model in your army has. Each pivotal role ability models in your army must be different. So I'll have a quick look at these. Normally we just flick through these books, but as it might not be out for a while for some of you, we'll have a look. If your army is Battleforged contains a Troop Master, you can replace that model's choreographer of war ability with one of the following Troop Master pivotal roles abilities. So we have Prince of Light. When a friendly mask unit is within 6 inches, you can reroll charge rolls made for that unit. If you could already reroll them, you can add 1 to the charge roll instead. Darkness Bite. Each time this model fights, after it has fought, you can select one enemy unit this model made an attack against, and they suffer 2 mortal wounds. That's pretty cool. Twilight's Grasp. Each time a melee attack is made by a model against a unit that is not a monster or vehicle, an unmodified wound roll of 2+ is always successful. Shadowseer. If your army is Battleforged and changes Shadowseer, you can replace his Shield of Harm ability with one of these following ones. So we've got the Veil of Illusion. While a friendly mask unit is within 6 inches. When determining if that unit is within range of attacks made by enemy models with ranged weapons, add 6 inches to the distance measured. For example, if this unit is 22 inches away from an enemy model, for purposes of shooting it is treated as being 28 inches away. Note the purposes of determining if a model is half range is the distance after applying the effect. So that's quite cool. While a mask unit within 6 inches of this model, each time a ranged attack is made against them, they gain the benefit of cover, also quite nice. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model, subtract 1 inch from attack characteristics of that unit to a minimum of 1, which is also pretty nice as well. We have some stratagems for them. Oh, there's also stuff for the Death Jester and the Solitaire as well. Ooh. Okay, very quickly. So you replace their Death is Not Enough ability. You can either have each time he shoots, if a target unit contains 6 or more models, each successful hit roll each successful hit roll scores 3 hits instead of 1. Nice. Add 12 to a range characteristic of ranged weapons this model is equipped with. Each time he shoots, an unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts a mortal wound in addition to normal damage. Again, very nice. Humbling Cruelty. Each time an attack made by this model against an enemy unit scores a hit, that unit is pinned until the start of the next turn. And while it's pinned, subtract 2 inches from the move characteristic, and it cannot fire Overwatch. So yeah, I'm not sure if pinning is a thing in 40k. I haven't played 40k for a long time. I know it used to be, but I don't know if it still is. But that's pretty cool if that's what the effects do. Solitaire. He can replace his Blitz ability. So during deployment, you can set up this model shimmering instead of placing it on battlefield. He essentially deep strikes by the looks of it. Each time a charge roll is made for this model, if it was set up as battlefield on reinforcements, roll 1 additional d6 and discard 1 of the dice. Wow. So not only can he sort of deep strike, he increases his chances of charging on that turn as well. Or he can, when he advances, not make an advance roll, instead add 6 inches to a move characteristic, and each time he powers in or consolidates, he can move an additional 3 inches. And then lastly, if an attack made against his model, subtract 1 from the attacker's hit roll. So some really nice options there to choose from for your HQ units, or heroes. Don't know if they're all HQ. Really good. Really nice. So I apologise if you have no interest in 40k or Harlequins and that you have to sit through that. There's some stratagems, I won't go into them, but there they are. More stratagems. And also, it looks like we've got some artifacts as well. So I won't go through them either, we'll be here all day. But obviously, hopefully it's focused enough that you can pause the video and have a look for yourself. Wow. So yeah, if you're a Harlequins player, you've just got a lot more stuff. We're looking at Galactic War Zones, we're looking at Imperial Hive worlds this time, so painting your miniatures up in the style to suit fighting on Hive worlds. Obviously the Necromunda bases are used quite a lot here. A Zone Mortalis painting guide as well, really cool. Adding graffiti and posters as well, something I've been doing on mine. And then they just want to just show this off because it's gorgeous. Look at that. The Rust Pit. That has a lot of kits. Absolutely beautiful though. And then there's more photos of that. History of a chapter. So last month they were talking about creating your own chapter, which they created the Tome Keepers, and they're obviously now, I think, looking maybe through some fluff that they've made up for them. So the White Dwarf chapter they're called. More rules, this time for Kill Team, so we've got Sisters of Silence. Very cool, I do love the Sisters of Silence. So that's really sweet. I do have some Sisters of Silence miniatures that I do want to paint up. So using them as a little kill team, very awesome. Okay, so into Age of Sigmar. Rules of engagement. Jervis is looking at Warhammer terrain, so you're looking through the evolution of Warhammer terrain. Very cool. The old Necromunda stuff compared to what I've just shown you a few pages ago, eh? Oh, is that it? Okay. I'm sure he in these pages has written a lot of interesting stuff, but I would like to see more pictures, considering it's like the evolution. I'd like to see some of the old stuff compared to the new stuff. That might not be the last of that though, who knows. Campaign, so another little campaign thing, we've had quite a few of these recently. Some battle plans as well. So, Tales of 4 Warbands. So this is for Warcry, we've got some Cypher Lords, some Unmade, Corvus Cabal, and Splintered Fang. The terrain's looking amazing as well. I love the colours I used on them statues. I might have to copy that. Nice artwork as well. I think there's a little battle report going on there. Speaking of battle reports, there's one with the Lumineth. So there you go, lots of Lumineth stuff there. I think by now we've probably seen everything that's going to be released for them. There's nothing here that we haven't sort of seen yet. Against the Slaves to Darkness. And there's our board. And as always, I do like to just zip past them because I know some of you like to read them, and I don't want to give it all away. We have some new rules for the Lumineth in Warcry, which is amazing. Really cool. There's some battle plans in there as well. And then we've got their abilities, got their cards, so they can take a lot of stuff. Quite a few options there. So just sort of looking at them very quickly, they all seem to be like, most of them are toughness 4, there's a couple of toughness 3. Not a great deal of wounds with them, but then they are quite cheap points wise as well. And then you got like 6 hero options, so plenty to choose from. Glory points. So this month Dave's doing some mental, not physical flexing. So I don't know enough about Warhammer Underworld. I haven't played it for so long. But there's some tactics here as well. I like how they sort of show you what sort of decks they're using to go along with these articles as well. So loads of tactica, absolutely loads of it. Blood Bowl. So looking at some great Blood Bowl games and give you the tools you need to recreate them on the tabletop. And then we've got some Tactica for Middle Earth as well. So it's all about how to use the future King of Rohan in your games to deadly effect. And there's another beautiful set of miniatures there. We've got Faith and Fire, some fiction by James Swallow. So on to chapter 7 now. And we're almost at the end. Just inside the studio. Loving the colour scheme there. Very nice. Green works really well with the purple. We've got Cypher down there. Some Necromunda going on as well. I'd love to see more of their Necromunda board there. Looks pretty sweet. And some Cypher Lords there. Next month, Gloomspite Squigs. As a big Gloomspite Gits player, looking forward to that. See what that's all about. But yeah. And I didn't really sort of talk much about the cover, but on the subscriber issue we've got Gazgol there. And Ragnar, so that's a pretty cool issue. That's a pretty cool issue. Some really, really good rules in there. You know, Sisters of Silence and Kill Team, Lumineth and Warcry. Really cool, and then the Harlequin stuff as well. Really liking that. So some good content in there. If you play any of them armies, or if you plan to play the Lumineth, then it'll be very, very cool. So yeah, that was. They don't do these by months anymore, but I assume this would have been the May one. We are in May, and I know the release schedule is getting a bit wavy at sort of around this time, so I don't know when the next one's coming out, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in the next video.